Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, for the first time in the history of reaction and review, I'm going to be checking out a movie off of Netflix. Yep, I recently got a Netflix account, and well, it's high time I finally got some use out of it, at least for this series. And I thought, what better way to kick it off than to find a movie from one of my favorite directors and give it a look. Because you see, I am a little bit of an animation buff, and I'm one of those guys who absolutely adores the films directed by Ralph Bakshi. Barring, so far, only one exception, that was that hideous Lord of the Rings movie he did. But everything else I've seen him do has been really solid stuff. And he did Wizards, he did Cool World, he did Heavy Traffic, he did Fritz the Cat. Those are all really solid movies. This one I've never had a chance to see. This was his outing from 1983. It is a full-on fantasy flick called Fire and Ice. The only thing I know about Fire and Ice, besides the fact that it was directed by Ralph Bakshi, is it was a collaborative work with legendary fantasy artist Frank Frazetta. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Frankly, I don't much care, because I am willing to give damn near anything directed by Ralph Bakshi a fair shot. And who knows, he could very easily shock me here and turn in a fantastic fantasy film. But there's only one way to find out, and that is to sit down and watch it. And believe me, I have been waiting to do this for years. I've just never had the time or the opportunity to watch this movie. Now is my chance. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Fire and Ice. Okay, you know, movie's still just starting off, but I kind of have to mention this. We have some really fluid, very good-looking character animation, but every single time a character has spoken so far, the mouth movements look really fucked up. I'm really hoping that you know, improves as the film goes on, but right now it's really distracting to have mouth movements that are that messed up. Just kind of thought I'd mention. So wait a minute. So our princess was able to avoid her captors by swimming in what looked to be a pond that was at its deepest 2.5 feet deep. I totally understand that these ugly-looking creatures are supposed to be stupid as shit, but you know, there really is only so far you can push that before they stop being stupid and they just start being retarded. And that little scene kind of pushed them into full retard territory. God, this movie's not really giving me a whole lot to work with now, is it? You know, perhaps maybe if these characters had a little bit more depth, I'd actually care about everything which is going on, but unfortunately, these characters all have the depth and all of the intrigue of Bathroom Tile. So unfortunately, I don't even give half a rat's ass about anything going on in this fucking movie. Is this stupid bitch actually trying to saw through a thick chain with a knife blade? Jesus Christ, this princess is fucking stupid as hell. And she's still at it. She's still trying to saw through a fucking chain with a fucking dagger. God damn it. Now that actually is almost stupid enough to be fucking funny. Unfortunately, the scene is not supposed to be funny. God damn, dude. You know, guys, once we finally get a scene that has some actual dialogue in it, it is only now that I've discovered just how hideous the acting in this fucking movie is. All of this acting is so fucking lifeless, it's almost painful to listen to. Holy shit. No, guys, I totally understand. I've said this with other movies in the past, but god damn it, it has to be said again. It really says a lot when you're watching what is supposed to be a tense and pulse-pounding action scene and you just don't fucking care. I mean, under normal circumstances, this sort of thing, what I'm seeing here, our heroes flying in on what are essentially pterodactyls and essentially storming the villain's base would probably be absolutely amazing. But under the current circumstances, which I will cover when this fucking movie's done, I just cannot bring myself to care. Oh, thank you, it's finally over. God, that was a fucking chore. Okay, that was Fire and Ice. Wow, I don't even know where to fucking be. Okay, I know where to begin. I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed because I know that the man behind this film can do better. I've seen him do better. I have seen Ralph Bakshi take a fucking premise that just sounds absolutely retarded, a premise forced upon him, and make it work. Because yeah, Cool World, granted it wasn't great, and it was nothing even close to what Bakshi wanted to originally do, but fucking A, he actually made it work in his own special sort of way. But this thing, he had full creative input, right along with Frank Frazetta. I don't know what kind of input Frazetta had, but if it was minimal, like if it was only for the designs, then we have a problem, because Bakshi can do better. I have proof on DVD he can fucking do better. And that proof is older than this movie, with the one sole exception being Cool World. I mean, he did so much better in terms of writing and visuals and everything else in every other film I've ever seen from him. Well, except for the, Lord of the Rings, but that's just because, well, that movie was a fucking troubled goddamn production from the fucking beginning. But I really shouldn't just dwell on this. I really have to get into the details. I want to start with the animation, because it's funny. This series has gone on this long, I don't think I've ever had to talk about this. Rotoscoping. Those of you who don't know what rotoscoping is when you take footage of actors or physical models of something you want to work into your film, and you film its movements, and then you trace over the film to create your animated characters. The only things you might change is the face, if you need it to match your character's face. Now, it's one thing if a film uses it sparingly, such as heavy metal. Heavy metal used, rotoscoping for a very small number of scenes. And those scenes are a lot more powerful because of it. This film, on the other hand, is nothing but rotoscoping. Every single character, every single humanoid character is rotoscoped from an actor. You can tell. You can tell for two reasons. Number one, every single bodily movement is just so exaggerated where it just looks weird. And it's the kind of exaggeration you would get from an actor who's just told to kind of sort of wing it and just kind of look, They basically are just told you have to move around as if a subhuman would move. Or you have to move and show us that you're angry using your bodily movements. That's one part. Another part is the fact that a lot of these characters are seen running, like, towards, the camera. And instead of them running in a straight line, the camera that filmed those actors, like, jostled slightly. So you have a movement that's coming straight at you. However, there's this weird, hitch where it kind of sort of, kicks off to one side. And it really just pulls you right out because it's such a fucking unnatural movement, and it's obvious that the animators never fucking compensated for it, and it looks so far off. So really, and then on top of that, the faces were not rotoscoped, so every single face just looks way off. So we have these bodies which are moving in a way that just dives every character directly into the fucking uncanny valley, and then they have faces that just look absolutely hideous because there is no guide for them, and the animators are just attempting to half-ass a face based on where the head is on the actor they were rotoscoping. And then this is compounded with the fact that the mouth movements rarely, if ever, match what is being said, especially since most of the cast is animated as if they're talking through clenched teeth when it's fucking obvious from the audio that they are not. Or, in worse cases, you will see a character, like, looking and the mouth moves just barely, so it doesn't look like they're actually speaking. It just sort of looks like they're almost like psychically trying to project their fucking dialogue, which doesn't work for this movie, because there's only one character who has any sort of psychic power, and he can only use it to kill fucking other people or cause a glacier to move. No, don't ask me how, because that's barely ever fucking explained. Really, this fucking movie goes to great lengths to keep you from being fucking immersed in the story based solely on the visuals, because everything is just so creepy looking that you really just cannot help but look at it. And the writing doesn't help any either. Allow me to just sum this up right now. This movie has no fucking depth. It has almost no story. The characters are so goddamn shallow and plain, and there's nothing there. I only know the names of 2 of the fucking characters, and that's just simply because their fucking names are said at least 50 times each. So, to watch this movie, if you actually pick up and remember the names of any characters besides Necron and Tigra, bravo. Because, fuck, I don't even think that half of our main cast were even given fucking names, much less anything that even comes close to resembling character depth. We have characters who are fucking introduced. They actually look as if there's some level of depth there, and then they're killed off. So basically they were there to just waste time. They have no purpose being there. There is this fucking woman in the goddamn woods. Spoiler. She lives in a fucking hut. And she apparently is freaked out because the princess is wanted by Necron. But we don't know why, and we never find out, because Necron's fucking goons kill her and burn down the fucking hut. She had no purpose being there, and then she comes back as a skeleton just to tell our nameless hero, who basically looks like fucking, Ator, only lamer, and she, in her skeletal form, announces exactly where the fuck they took, Tigra, even though she was dead and fucking burnt into ash, so that way before the princess was taken away, so how the fuck would she know? Then she crumbles, and it just looks stupid as shit. There is no attempt at trying to write a, story that makes any level of sense, and I could not follow it. Now, music was tolerable. There's nothing else I can really say. Now, let's get down to brass tacks here. Can I recommend this movie to anybody? No. I was originally going to say you could probably enjoy it if you're really into sword and sorcery style fantasy films, but the fact that there's a glut of those out there, so you can watch Conan, you can watch Ator, you can watch Kull or Deathstalker or Beastmaster. You can watch any of those. Any of them are probably better than this. I wouldn't know. I haven't watched any of those in fucking decades. But you're probably going to get a much better experience from those. And I would almost say if you're a fan of the artwork of Frank Frazetta, I'd say sure. But no. Because you can just look at fucking Molly Hatchet covers and enjoy those. You can look at Molly Hatchet album covers and the covers of Conan novels, and you can enjoy his work as well as the work of Boris fucking, like, Vallejo, and you don't have to worry about a bullshit, you don't have to worry about a bullshit story or really cheaply done rotoscoped animation. You just have the artwork. It's right there and it looks great. Honest to God, I cannot find a single person out there who could possibly enjoy this. I would even go as far as to say that you could probably enjoy it if you're a fan of Ralph, Bakshi, but I'm a big fan of fucking Bakshi's, and this is probably the worst goddamn movie I've ever seen from him. Again, at least in terms of animation, it's not as bad as the fucking, Lord of the Rings, but goddamn it, that is not saying much. There's no way in hell I could possibly recommend this fucking thing to anybody. However, if you want to tempt fate, if you think you might somehow find something likable here, if you think you can sit through this and find some kind of a coherent story, and if you think that you can find any level of character depth, it's right there on Netflix. And if you have a Netflix account, what the hell? It's right there for instant streaming. Its fucking runtime is only 82 minutes. Maybe you'll find something here to actually enjoy, because I sure as fuck didn't. Oh, boy. Well, at least I know that Netflix works on my laptop. So now maybe I'll look into Netflix for even more episodes in the future. Who knows? I might actually find something here that might genuinely be good. But then again, I actually thought this thing was going to be awesome. And I am so goddamn disappointed, I just want to go sit down and cry somewhere. So, before I go off on a fucking rage here, I'm just going to have to walk away. Going to have to go and find a nice quiet fucking corner and just try to do something that's just, god damn it. You guys have no idea how fucking disappointed I am in this fucking movie. It's like, it had such a good pedigree. It had Ralph Bakshi directing. It was written by Bakshi, and I'm such a fan of his work. I was able to find goodness in things like fucking Cool World, which other people thought was a complete pile of shit. I have no love for this fucking movie. Oh my god! I'm just gonna have to close out this fucking tab. I cannot look at that paused screen of the title credits anymore. Guys, I'm just gonna have to go and just walk away for a bit. So with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.